Sup folks, this is Dan from Discern, and these are my thoughts on the new track from Canon, The Family. Canon is the stage name of Aaron McCain, a rapper from Chicago. He released his first mixtape back in 2009 and his debut EP with the label Reflection Group Music, which he's still a part of, in 2012. That was his first installment in the Loose Cannon EP series, and recently we've been waiting for him to drop Loose Cannon Volume 3, which was supposed to be out at the start of September. Well, just a few days before it was scheduled to be released, news came out that it's getting kicked all the way back to November 4th. So hold your horses, folks. It's going to be a few more months. But when the release date changed, Canon clarified that the EP is still growing and it's basically going to contain a full-length album's worth of tracks, like more than 7. Now, more is not always better, as the hip-hop community has seen many times with hour-and-a-half-long albums with about only 20 minutes of good content. But whatever, I'll sit tight, I'll wait and see. Now, Canon did mention that some singles would be coming out in between now and November 4th, and the first single to be released after that announcement and the second single to be released from this upcoming record is this track, The Family. This song is a tribute to and a thank you to Canon's supporters, people so close and so loyal to him that they're practically family. The structure of this track is sort of unconventional, but I really like it. It starts with an intro, a mostly beatless swirl of synth pads, some vocal samples, and a heavily auto-tuned singing part. I mean, I hesitate to even call it singing because it's melodically janky and the auto-tune is practically bending the humanity out of it. But then the chorus or the hook drops and the beat really drops. A slam and trap beat comes in. The hi-hats are crisp as ever, cruising overhead this simple 2 and 4 from the heavy bass and the snare. It's a solid beat, but just as soon as it starts, it ends. This is where the song's sort of unique structure comes in. The hook is played through just once, and then it moves right into one long rap verse that sees the song all the way out to the end. I'm actually really glad he built the song this way. It kind of allows the intro and the chorus/hook to function like a pace car. It goes out in front and it leads the track off in the right direction. It gives it a framework, thematically and in regards to production. And then as the verse starts up, it just lets the song run off in that direction. Sometimes I feel like hooks and choruses end up being repeated again and again because, well, that's just what you do. Even if the verses are just light years beyond the hook, it comes back again and again. But on this track, I think the verses, or technically one long verse, stands as the pinnacle of the song. The best part of the track, and the structure of the song really lets it shine. Within the sort of central minute of this 3.5-minute track, that's when Canon really goes off. The first minute of the song and the last sort of minute and a half have a similar production style. The vocal sample from the beginning of the song is echoing back and forth, left and right. The beat has a halftime feel to it, and the synth pads and sort of the chorus of voices sound fills the background. But this central minute of the song is where he lets loose. It has a quicker flow, the production is more engaged and variable. The beat switches and shifts numerous times, keeping you on your feet. It feels adventurous and unafraid to stop and change on a dime. And even as it jukes between these two vibes, multiple vibes, I should say, more than two, Canon's flow rides the beat here really skillfully. It's not like his flow works here, but not on the next beat, or it works there, but not on that one, or it fits and gels with anything and everything that sits behind him. And honestly, if you listen carefully, it's because he ever so slightly adjusts his speed, he adjusts his length of phrase to match each particular beat. He didn't sloppily throw some bars on top of these instrumentals, but he really crafted the sound and the tempo of each to fit with each instrumental section, which that's how it should be, right? This upbeat vibe and its sort of changing production style comes to a close as the track fades to nothing fairly quickly, actually. There's a few lines a cappella, and then the slower, more laid-back production crescendos back in, and you hear someone say, switch it up, almost like the producer in the studio talking to the artist through the headphones. And right then, you're sort of back to where you came from. It's almost as if this middle section was just something he had to get out, get on tape, spit on record, even though it doesn't, match the rest of the track. And one more thing too, Canon's flow through the whole song actually is pretty impressive. For most of this track, in typical Canon fashion, he strings together these long multi-sentence runs where he barely takes a breath, just unleashing a stream of consciousness. So even if his lyrics aren't wowing you, his lengthy sections of bringing it non-stop with the occasional hoop and holler or classic Keyshawn Furlow-like voice crack sound. These long sections, before you even look at the lyrics, have to leave you impressed. Now, let's talk lyrics. Lyrically, this track is a little above average. It wasn't throwaway, but it wasn't the most compelling aspect of the track for me. The lyrics in the chorus or the hook are so simple, they're really only worthy of a single run-through. They aren't saying much more than the message you get from the track as a whole. I mean, he appreciates his fam, obviously. The quicker section that comes off the heels of the hook is when he's most fiery and brag-heavy, saying how his rhythms make him want to dance, and he doesn't care about his haters. He's, trying to waste his time. And how he makes this rap thing look so easy. It's his confident, this is who I am, swagger-filled verse. And as the mood and the groove of the production shifts, the lyrical subject shifts as well. He transitions to a list of back when lines, taking you back to where his music career began. When he was so small, he probably wouldn't even have called it a career yet. He takes you back to his Chicago roots, where he still lives, I think. Before he called himself Canon, when he was putting out mixtapes in the 90s under his name MC Spooks. And he talks about his early years as Canon, releasing his debut mixtape, The Great Investment, being a truly independent amateur rapper. And I love how, as the lyrics, show his career progressing, he sprinkles in song titles and album titles into the lyrics, and he crescendos this into a flurry of kick drums and shouts of loose cannon, recalling both volumes 1 and 2 of his EP series. And the song comes to a close with a reference to the tracks Take It All Away and Grateful, and states the all too real fact that he could have died back in 2014 when he suffered a shattered ankle, a broken jaw, and a concussion from like a 20-foot fall in an accident. This accident could have been, career-ending, but God used it to grow him, albeit painfully, and to build Canon up even more. I mean, he talks about that in those songs, Take It All Away and in Grateful. It sounds like this accident and his fans' response and care for him after just bound him even closer to his friends and fans, making them even more into a family. Overall, this is a pretty good track with some interesting and exciting production and lyrics that, while not really witty or brilliant, are certainly clearly descriptive of his background and the journey of his career. The flow is excellent on here. The lyrics, they walk you along his path at a consistent and effective pace, gives you sort of a well laid out picture of his career and a deeper understanding of his family. There are some links down in the description box for you to listen to this track and to actually download it for free from Rapzilla. And there's a link to Canon's Twitter as well. Give him a follow. Be on the lookout, for his Loose Cannon Volume 3 EP, which is, now looking to be more like a full-length album. It should be coming out November 4th, unless it gets delayed again. All right, folks. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this track review, please subscribe to the channel. New track reviews just like this release every Wednesday, and new album reviews release every Friday. If you have a question or a comment for me about this track or about something else, you can comment below this video. You could tweet at me at discernreviews, or you could send me an email, discernreviews@gmail.com. Have you heard this new track from Canon? Were you devastated when he postponed the release of his new album? There's so much new music coming out all the time these days. I think I can wait for it, but hopefully when it does come out, it's shown to be worth the wait. So anyway, thanks again for watching. Hope this helps. See ya.